Hi, in this video I will show you how you can recreate your dashboard from your old service client into the new service client of SuperOffice Service. So to start with, usually I would assume that most of your users have a screen looking something like this in the old service where they have their dashboards and as a standard, we offer 4 tiles like we have here in this screen, where you can use the drop down and choose different standard tiles or custom made tiles that you have made yourself based on selections in the old service client. In this case, you see I have 4 tiles here, but of course, in your installation, it could look different. You could have other layouts. You could have more tabs up here. As you see here, I have dashboard, the standard one, and one called Sweden, where I have added another view just to show you that it's possible to have multiple different views here. And in these tiles, mostly you are using standard tiles, but you could also add your own selections or dashboards here. So as an example here, I have one called requests with past deadline. That's a custom list in this dashboard based on selection in the old service client. And if you would like to know how to find all the custom made dashboard options that you have created, you need to be an administrator in SuperOffice Service, and then you would navigate to system design and to web panels here. And if you press this one, you will get a view looking like this. And if you expand the main page folder, you would get all the actual added dashboards that you have added to your solution. So you could have fewer here, or you could have a lot more here. And if you would like to know, what's behind behind every item here, you just press requests with past deadline, and you will see that the label has a placeholder up here, and then in this case we have used the selection called requests with past deadline. And if you would like to check, what was the actual criteria as we used for this one, then you could navigate to the selections part here. Either you could be lucky, as I am here, and have, this specific selection pinned already on the left-hand side here. If you don't have that, you just press list selections, and you would get a full list of all the selections that you have available in your SuperOffice Service client here. In my case here, I will press the requests with past deadline because that's the one I want to check. Then I get, the results, and I can hit show criteria here. And then I will see, these are the actual criteria that I have used. It's support with all its subcategories. The deadline should be somewhere in the past 12 months, and the ticket should still be open. And now when I have all this information, I can recreate this specific dashboard in the new service client. And if we go and switch clients here, you will see something like this in the new service client. And if I press dashboard here, you will see that I actually have a standard dashboard here as well called requests, equivalent to the one you had in the old service looking like this, when you had the standard one looking like this in the old client. But now I switch back to the new one just to show you that in this dashboard we have added more standardized tiles, so it's more information available for the user directly when they start with new service, if you haven't done any specific dashboards in your old client. But this is the standard one. I would like to show how you create your own dashboards here now, so you can recreate the ones you would like to have in the new service client as well. And then if you move over to task here and create a new dashboard, you will have the possibility to enter a name for the dashboard. You can have different themes and color schemes on the specific dashboard, but we can keep the default one now. We will add 6 columns into the grid that will be the full dashboard. And see here, I am the owner of this specific dashboard, and as a standard, I am also the one that is marked as the only one that this dashboard will be visible for. But if I would like to add more users, it's very easy just to go here and add every and each user or a whole user group if I would like to. It's also possible to add or pin this specific dashboard to all the users that you would like as well. If it's a specific group, a user, or just pin it to all that it is visible for. When I hit save, you will see that I get a new blank dashboard here with 6 columns that will be the canvas for my dashboard layouts. And on the right hand side now, you will see that we have show tiles for requests. Of course, I could add, from the different standard entities in SuperOffice, but we just do the requests for now. Of course, all the standard tiles that you had in the old service client is also available in the standard options here as well in the library section. But in this case, I'm going to start with an empty request tile just to show you how that looks. And as you can see here, it starts with a name on top. You see it here as well, empty request tile. I want to try and recreate the tiles or the dashboard with the past deadline tickets. So we just call it request with past deadline. And in this case, I have some criteria here, and these works exactly the same as the selection. So in this case, I have a little bit too many of these here, so I will actually delete some of these. And we end up with status. I want active, in progress, and waiting for customer. These are all my open statuses. I also want to make sure that the request is in some specific categories. I would like all the requests from support and its subcategories. Then it's enough to just hit the top node. And I also want all the categories within consulting. And of course, I need the deadline field as well. So I just search for that one, deadline, and I will say that, okay, it's enough to just use before today. But of course, you have multiple operators and options to choose from here. But I start with an easy one. All the deadlines that is before today, and the request should still be open, and there should be in some specific categories. Now, when I hit layout, I will actually get an overview of how this specific tile would look like. Of course, if I'm satisfied with the standard look of a pie chart for this, then that is showing, requests with the past deadline grouped by category. Then I could just hit save, and you would see that this one would end up here. And now, maybe you feel like it's a little bit too crowded, then I can just use the easy drag and drop functionalities to add and expand the actual tile to the actual size that I would prefer. If I don't like, this to be in a graph like this, I could just hit edit and go back to the layout screen. And maybe I would like to say that, I don't want a chart in this case. I actually want a list. And in this case, as a standard, you see it lists all the tickets based on its category, as you have here. But of course, this could be changed as well. So in my case, maybe I want, the name of the company instead. Company name. And then we'll group it based on that instead. And the heading will also be company name. And let's do a subheading as well called deadline. And then you will see that it expands the list to be single options, and you could change the sort order as well if you would like to. And in this case, you could hit save and be satisfied with this one, but then you feel like, okay, maybe this isn't the perfect layout anyway, so I will still change a little bit more. And I don't want, the company name here. I want it instead to be maybe that it should be the title here of the actual request. And I would also add the company name in this order instead. Have it underneath to make it more visible for me. And hit save. And maybe I want to expand the list a little bit further as well, and then hit done. And then I have all my requests here that have a past deadline. But now it looks a little bit empty here on the right hand side, so I go back to task and hit add tile, edit layout, and I could easily add more options here. So we can do some standard ones here. Requests by category. I just add that one. And as you see here now, the default is that it just shows one, just because in my database here now, I don't have that many requests created this month. So we can do like this and just remove the created criteria and just check the open requests. And then we'll see, okay, I get a layout looking something like this instead. And yeah, that will be fine. And I hit save. And I get a list like this. And maybe I feel like I want to expand this one on the right hand side instead to get a nicer look of the actual dashboard. And this is how easy you create the actual dashboards. And you can, of course, then pin them, as I showed you earlier in the video, to the specific users you would like that they should work with these specific dashboards. And of course, these are drilled down as well. So if you press somewhere in the graphs, when they are not in edit mode, you get a list of the requests behind the graphs. And of course, you could then directly view them on the right hand side. You can use the quick edit to update some information, or fully open the request by hitting open, just to get the full overview and go in and working with a specific request. Thank you. That's how you recreate your dashboards in the new Service Client.